I'm going to tell you about the worst law affecting personal injury victims in the entire country. Florida has a law that is known as the free Unalive rule, which allows a situation where a medical doctor commits malpractice and leads to someone being unalived, and that person's family has no recourse to sue the doctor. It is a free unaliving.
Sabrina Davis says she lost her father to medical malpractice. She says the autopsy she paid for proves it. The agency that regulates hospitals found them at fault. Attorneys told her she has everything she needs to sue the doctor, except she can't. In Florida, the law won't let her.
In most states, a wrongful death case is brought by your surviving family members, and there's usually a statute, a law, and every state has basically its own pyramid of who's allowed to bring the lawsuit. At the top of the pyramid is typically the spouse, then your children, then your parents, and then it gets a little dicey depending on the state about who's allowed to bring the lawsuit. Some states allow a kind of a next block of family members, some states don't. Back in 1990, Florida passed a tort reform to reform medical malpractice cases when there was a wrongful death involved. And it made a law that said if your parent died as a result of a doctor's medical malpractice, you could bring a lawsuit on their behalf, so long as you're under the age of 25. But if you're above the age of 25, then you can't file a lawsuit on behalf of your loved one. For the last 35 years, whether doctors were accountable in civil court for committing malpractice and causing someone to be unalived, one of the biggest factors was whether their children were above or below 25 years old.
The law passed in Florida more than 3 decades ago prevents those suits if a person is 25 years old and has no spouse or minor children.
Now, as you can tell from my facial reactions and my waving hands here, this rule makes absolutely no sense. This year, Florida did something amazing. All of the representatives there got together, bipartisan, the Republicans and the Democrats, and they said, hey, this law makes no sense.
Mary Jo has posted billboards and worked to spread the word to try and wipe out the law. Those efforts are now paying off.
SB 734 is reported favorably.
With this vote in Senate rules, every committee in the Capitol has approved repealing the free kill law. People like Ethan Lopez.
Florida's free kill law is actively shielding and protecting criminal physicians in the state of Florida.
Show the bill passes.
It's not lowering insurance rates. What it's doing is it's screwing families. It's protecting doctors who do bad stuff. Let's change the law. Great. Everyone agrees that this is a great idea. Oh, wait. Ron DeSantis. Yes, that Ron DeSantis. He decided to veto this bill.
I'm announcing that we will be vetoing that legislation.
On Thursday, Governor DeSantis put a stop to the legislation.
Because he's a moron who used to go to high school parties when he was a teacher. He's just an idiot. Here we have a state Congress realizing there's a bad law on the books, deciding to change it, and the governor says, nope, I'm going to keep this loophole there. Ron DeSantis' reason for vetoing the bill?
He said he would have considered signing the bill if it also capped the amount of money a plaintiff could receive in a lawsuit.
Well, why hasn't it stopped insurance rates from skyrocketing for the last 35 years, Ron? Why? Because it doesn't work. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I hope we're okay, all of us paying a little bit more. I'm talking like pennies, maybe a nickel. All of us across wherever we live, just paying that much more so a doctor doesn't get away with malpractice that leads to unaliving someone. And that family doesn't get told, hey, sorry, your birthday was 2 months too early and you don't get to do anything about this, but that doctor is going to go back to working and face no civil consequences. The reasoning is flawed because if this bill worked and if it kept insurance costs low, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in, which is high insurance costs, because insurance companies are for-profit businesses that are going to rip us off because that's what they do. Wow, keep passing tort reform and insurance rates keep going up. It's like we've been trying this for decades and it just hasn't been working.